What's happening, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about my relationship with one of the most amazing people that I've met since being here. I'm talking about my first roommate ever since coming to the United States. If you are ready, let's jump right into it. Okay people, so like I said, this video is all about my relationship with this amazing person that I met. So at this point, let me introduce you to my guest on the channel. Kindly introduce yourself to the community.
Hi everybody, my name is Mary Magdalene Chumbo and is what I prefer. I am originally from Cameroon, but I stayed in Kenya and for a very long time. That's actually where JP was born. People who are in my channel know JP. JP is my 9-year-old amazing son, and then we came here. And then we came here to the US in 2017. JP joined us later, but Richard and I came together to the US. So that's
For those of you who know me to an extent, you know that I never talk about my United States experience without talking about my first roommate ever. Now, for the purposes of context, whenever I tell people back home that I live with a girl, it's always like everybody's mind jumps into the gutter. So today I officially wanted to have this conversation with Mary so that we have some perspective. Both of us have stuff we need to get off our chest. Stuff that we wanted to share with you guys. So we're just going to jump right into the conversation. Even before we came here, I sent an email to everybody in my cohort, and 2 people responded, and Mary happened to be one of them. Mary, how did you feel getting a random email from a stranger that felt like you've known for a long time?
So first of all, I mean, it was just weird. First, like obviously it was weird in the middle of the day. For me, it was the middle of the day in Kenya at the time, or as I was at work and I was doing something, and I'm like, we are in a WhatsApp group with this person, but I just have never spoken to them. I don't know their faces. So why is this person sending me a private message on WhatsApp? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna respond to that later. And then I think I responded that evening or something. Yeah, so it was new, it was interesting. It was like, that's actually who Richard is. He tries to reach out to people a lot. So he did reach out to everybody, as I later on found out. But so I responded and we started talking from there. We kept talking about, have you gone to the embassy yet? Have you got your visa? Did you get your I-20? I-20 is the form which the school sends to you so that you can go with it to the embassy to get your student visa to come to the US. So we kept talking together then.
This video is not just for brothers and sisters back home, but it's also for our community that we've built here. I mean, we've met some amazing people who have been very supportive, kind, nice, and helped shape our way of thinking and our way of life here.
Yeah.
For the purposes of context, right, on the African continent, if a random stranger, be it a guy or a girl, reaches out to you out of the blue,
it's already
what is the first thing that comes to mind? You know, let's build context.
It's like, why is this person sending me? At the time I was seeing someone and I even asked him, like, this person just sent me all the way from Ghana. Why is this guy? And you were just so casual. Hi, this is Richard. So my name is Adobe, and I was just thinking, let's get to know each other before we get to the US. And I'm like, okay, I hope he's doing that to everybody. Because that was the answer actually the person I was seeing at the time said. He was like, I hope he's doing that to everybody, not just to you. And I'm like, yeah, I hope so too. But like, yeah, it was weird because I didn't know you yet. I was like, okay, where is this coming from? Why is he doing that? As a woman, it's like we are used to people who do it, like many people, Crips online, you know. So you don't know, you don't also want to be rude because it might be someone with a really good, like, just honest, genuine interest, but you don't also want to just seem like you're entertaining somebody who's probably a creep, you know.
And I understand that 100%. Again, when I was sending that email, it was, you know, just that anxiety, the hype just knowing that okay, you're about to start this amazing amazing chapter, and these are people you're going to be hanging out with for the next 2 years. So why not just show that you can reach out to people as much as, and you are eager to get going with them as much as possible. And it's interesting how I was shocked in a positive way that you responded. You could have chosen to ignore that email, you could have chosen to ignore my WhatsApp messages, but you responded. You were really polite, you were nice, you were just so accommodating. And it's interesting how that single email, God was also planning for something interesting to happen, which we are going to get to in the later part of this conversation. But just to build a little bit of context, Mary and I never met, and the circumstances under which we even got to stay together was weird. So I'm going to leave Mary to tell that part of the story.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell this part of the story of how we ended up. So we now know how we met, like online, how we started talking. Richard was the one person who kept asking me, did you get the visa? And I had issues with my I-20 at the time. It got lost, the blah, blah, blah. Richard is the only one in my cohort who knew about it, even before I met him. So I came into the country about 2 or 3 weeks before school was supposed to start.
You see, the rich people can always afford to travel and come and chill, whilst we, those who are still hustling to get ticket money, try to figure things out.
That's not true. That's not true. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I came earlier because I have this big family. I came to the US earlier because I have this big family that I had never seen since I was born. Many were in the US, and my dad, when he knew that I was coming here, of course he was excited and was calling everybody, she's coming to the US. Who's going to
Hey, we are Africans. You are lucky your whole village didn't even follow you to the airport.
Your whole village will follow. I was taken to the airport in 2 cars, big ones, like. I got here. I stayed with some relatives for a few weeks. Then I came into Athens, Ohio. Like, I was so shocked. It is this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, college town, like typical, just tiny little town. Period. I'm from one of the biggest metropolitan cities in Africa, Nairobi. Like, that's where I just come from. Transplanted into Maryland, which is one of the biggest states. And then I was moved into this tiny little town, and I was driving with my cousin in the middle of the night. So we got here like at 5 a.m. or something, and we checked into this hotel, and then he had to go back to run some errands, so he left, and I was left there alone. So I didn't have a phone number, I didn't have a US number, but Richard was still talking to me on WhatsApp. So did you get into town? I'm like, yes, I just got here yesterday. Richard had got into Athens like 2 days before, and he had friends in Athens, which is good for him. But
shout out to Gloria. Shout out to Gloria. Shout out to Gloria Edu.
She's an amazing, amazing person. So I get here and I don't know anybody, and then the only person I've talked to the whole time is Richard. Apart from there's a lady, Victoria Marinova, who created the group, the WhatsApp group, which we originally
shout out to Vicky too.
Vicky was amazing. She's from South Africa. I always say she's from South Africa, though she's also from
Bulgaria.
She's also from Bulgaria, but she also grew up in South Africa. So like me, I was from Cameroon, I stayed in Kenya. So she's from Bulgaria originally, but also grew up in South Africa. So she's the one who created the cohort group. And so that's the only other person I talked to, but I had not talked to her as much as I talked to Richie. So I got into town, let him know that I was in town. And then he was like, so do you have accommodation? I was like, I am still, because I had a plan. We had got a house online. I was supposed to stay with these nice ladies, because that's my cousin was like, you have to stay with women and you need graduate students because you're going to be a graduate student. You don't want to be in a situation where you're with undergrads who are partying all the time. So we got this nice apartment. They told me how much it was going to cost, which was double what I ended up paying with Richie in the same apartment. But the problem was eventually the lady said her housemate was not leaving yet, and do I mind sleeping in the dining room area? They don't usually use that area. And my cousin was like, I don't think you want to do that. You don't want to carry your whole life and go and unpack in a sitting room or in a living room, in a dining room area, because it's an open space, and live there. So now I was stranded. So I I didn't even tell Richie yet. I was walking from the hotel. I thought it was close to the school. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the school, go look at bulletin boards. And my sister had been in the US for longer. She'd also come as a student, so she was like, if you go on bulletin boards, you'll probably find people who are looking for housemates. So I was walking to the school. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I wanted to go to the international student house. And then it was long, and I kept walking. But then I met this amazing woman again. Like, it's been a road of meeting destiny helpers and blessers and everything. So as I was walking, 15 minutes into the walk, I bump into this lady. She's called Renee. She's amazing. And
shout out to Renee.
She was amazing. She's been an amazing friend since then.
Yep.
My first day in the US, my first American friend, Renee, she gave me a ride. And at this point, I was like, we are always told not to get into people's cars since we were kids. Do not get into people's cars. But at this point, I was so tired. I don't know where I'm going. I don't have an American line. So I don't have internet. I'm walking in the general direction of wherever I'm supposed to be going. So she was like, do you need any help? Do you need a ride? I was like, yes, please. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to OU. So she was like, yeah, I'm going that way. I can give you a ride. So she dropped me. She studied at OU before, so she knew the area quite well. So she dropped me at the place I was supposed to go. Then I walk into the international house, and who do I see right there? Your guy, Richie. I see Richie right there when I open the door. Oh, Mary's even here. And I'm like, oh, hi guys. And I was like, okay, because I've never seen him in real life. He was there with Victoria, the lady we just spoke about. And I'm like, okay. And when you meet me, originally, I have a face which is like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
It's so plain. I'm not showing any emotions. I'm like, I've had a bad day, guys, so I don't know who you are, but I'm just going to say hi to you guys. And then she's like, I'm Richie. And I'm Vic. I'm like, oh, hi. Now I smiled. So that's how we now met.
But interestingly, whilst Mary was going through all these, I had this guardian angel. Again, shout out to Gloria Edu Frimpong, who literally was with me every step of the way, picked me up from the airport, and I spent 2 days at Gloria's house. So Gloria was actually the one who was like, don't stress about accommodation and anything. I've been making arrangements and stuff like that for you. So if you've not seen my accommodation video for international students, Mary's story is one of the reasons I decided to make that, because it's possible for you to meet people online who offer you accommodation, and then when you get there, there's always one issue or the other. So if you've not seen that video, I'm going to leave a link to the video in the description below, so please do check that out. But yeah, we met at Yamada House, the International Students Center, and it was one of the most amazing feelings, talking to this person for almost 2 months and finally meeting them. Like, it was as if we had met before. So we all ended up in Gloria's house, which was really nice to have someone, look after us or look over us like that. So Gloria found us our first apartment. Shout out to 79 West Union.
79 West Union.
79 West Union.
Apartment 2.
And that is basically where our life as roommates and friends began. Of course, coming with different perspectives, coming from different backgrounds, coming from different mindsets, it was obviously going to be challenging, especially with me being a guy and around the time of the year where people, or especially women, wear shorts and tank top all the time. That was a big deal. Alright, so will you tell the story of how we signed the lease and our first third roommate?
So we moved in together, 79 West Union Street. I remember it was end of July, because the orientation was the following week. So the day we moved in, we were 3 people who signed the lease together. Actually, these guys already had places they were staying in, so like we were supposed to move in at the beginning of August, but I was like, guys, I don't have a place to stay. So I told the rental company, I'm not going back to the hotel. I cannot afford to pay for more than 2 nights at the hotel. So they were like, okay, so you can move in on a certain day. We have to wash the house. So they washed the house. Then I moved in the next day, so before the month ended, and I was in the house alone. And these guys came and joined me like 3 days later. So we were 3 of us. We were all graduate students. We were all international graduate students then. We moved in together, and it was a tough ride at first because I was the only girl in the middle room, like right in between the 2 boys.
Yeah.
But at least the one good thing was, and it had only 1 bathroom. But the good thing was that my room was right across the bathroom, so I could just dash out, use the bathroom, and just run back into my room and lock myself in. So it was a rough ride. I remember getting sticky notes at some points.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Clean after yourselves. Don't leave dishes.
Wash the dishes. Flush the toilet. Don't leave this in the bathroom. Begin to, like, I am coming from a place where my dad was all about turn off the lights when you're not in the room, do this, do that. And then also the bathroom is one of my safest places, so I wanted to be sparkling clean. I understood that there were guys. I have a younger brother, so I'm not saying that that's an excuse for them not to clean after themselves, but I expect them to clean it into white sparkling every time they do. But I just didn't want to run into your pee maybe sprinkled on the toilet seat or something like that, like just all those things. So I didn't want to start asking who did this and who did that. I just decided, you know what, sticky notes everywhere. So every time.
And I mean, it was interesting because a lot of people don't actually realize the many layers that comes with having roommates. One of the most important things that personally we want you to get from this video is the fact that living with other people, even if it's family, friend, you are just patching or it's temporary, the best thing you can do is to be considerate. Think about the other person. How am I going to feel if this other person did what I'm doing? And I think it's one of the things that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, and that is why you see 2 good friends literally end the friendship because someone ate and didn't do the dishes, or someone sounded like they were nagging too much when all they wanted was everybody else in the house to take some level of responsibility.
Right.
So again, I thought I would mention that so people understand that having roommates, irrespective whether they are family, they are friends or whatever, you always have to treat that person the way you would want them to treat you. And personally, those sticky notes and stuff helped me to become more aware of the things that I may not even consciously pay attention to. You know what I mean? So again, that's one reason a lot of people didn't understand why Mary and I stuck together through and through. Like, we moved apartments and we were still together, based on certain reasons. We decided that we're not going to have a 3rd roommate, and Mary's son too was around, so we already had our hands full, and it was amazing. But Mary, since we were living together, what was the most annoying thing about me that you found out?
What was the most annoying thing about Richard? Do I have a most annoying?
Okay, what was one of the things that annoyed you?
If I think about the first housemate we had, the most annoying thing I had about him was him cooking in the middle of the night, and it was spicy food. It was a tiny apartment, so it was like after we left, it was actually split and opened up and turned into a 1-bedroom apartment. That is how tiny that house was.
Really small.
So
but it didn't also prevent us from having parties in the house.
Party people, we're the life of the party, by the way.
Shout out to Isa, shout out to Anake and all the wonderful people who passed through our house.
Sharifa, I remember all of them. So I know Richard room was right next to the kitchen, so I think he would have had it rough with that cooking. But for Richie, what would be the most annoying thing? I know when we moved in, the 2 of us, just me and Richie, I didn't put sticky notes again because I didn't think I needed to. But the most annoying thing was that Richie did not feel obliged to be cleaning if I didn't say something. He would just act like, okay, whatever. So Emma has stopped putting sticky notes. So Richard is no longer cleaning the house again. Like, he just now thought, okay, she's not put sticky notes. I'll only clean when I feel like it. Even his own room, guys. I would go into his room and be like, Richard, now what if a woman comes into this room? Would you host a woman in this room? Can you clean house?
No women were coming to visit.
But I was still saying it because, I mean, Richard, clean up your room. Richard, sometimes he would just go out and I'll be like, you know what? I'll call him and be like, Richard, I've gone into your room and I've done this and that and that. When you come back, sort yourself out. That's your problem. Like sometimes, but that's because now we got to know each other.
Yeah.
And I don't mind cleaning. I just wanted to see him clean a bit more. But he was whatever. He was now thinking, okay, maybe he would do the bare minimum. Wash dishes.
Hey, it was sufficient, which I'm good at. Wash dishes, which I'm good at.
After he's used it, flush the toilet, clean out his pee or whatever. Because I never had an issue with him about the bathroom or cleaning pee or whatever. So I'm guessing it wasn't him originally who was having that issue, or if it was, he learned it. But like, yeah, so I never had issues with it wasn't like the house wasn't dirty, but he never just said, okay, today I'm gonna just scrub everything out the way I always had told them that this is how we clean the bathroom. When it's your time to clean, take everything out, scrub it down, scrub the walls, clean everything. No.
Interestingly, I did all of that on our last night at 79 West Union.
He did all of that on one particular day. That
when we were moving,
I saw Richard clean. I was like, oh, so Richard, you can clean. So you can clean. It's my most annoying thing.
What about you? There was nothing really annoying. Okay, I would probably say the fact that you wake up early Saturday morning and make breakfast and make pancakes and all of that. It wasn't annoying, but I kind of always felt pressured since, of course, you know, I'm not a big food person. So I kind of felt, I was like, why is you know, but it also felt nice knowing that
pressured, because I'm making you feel like you have to eat it, or because I'm making you feel like you have to cook also?
No. I mean, you know, I like to cook in my one tiny pots rice business, but I mean, it kind of felt bittersweet, especially going out of your way and doing something for we the guys in the house, like on a Saturday. I mean, the whole week is usually a grind, you know, we see each other, we have to jump from one pantry to the other, gathering food, you know, and you know, so just it wasn't annoying, but it was also kind of put a certain level of pressure on me, so to speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
okay,
that is
so your turn.
Something else I forgot to mention. Richard would never eat. I'll be like, okay, Richard, I've made stuff there, I'll put them there, I'll be right, you can serve yourself. Nope. Richard will go get his one little pot, make rice, squeeze everything inside the rice, beans, everything. I think that's what they call wache in Ghana. And he will do everything and just leave. And then I'm like, Richard, I made food. Go and eat food. Like, change your diet or something. No, that's actually something I should have said was the most annoying. Give me a minute.
Speaking of annoying, I've remembered.
Yeah.
The fact that you wake up at 4 a.m. and be on the phone was annoying.
In apartment 79 or 70?
No, 79.
Oh, yeah. I remember, at some point I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop telling Richard that he makes noise at midnight, because I also wake up, early in the morning, because I was dating someone who was outside the country,
time difference
who was in different time zones. So as soon as he gets up, he'll go to work, blah, blah, blah. Then in the middle of the day, he'll give me a call, and I'll always look forward to that call. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe I shouldn't tell Richard that he's annoying me in the middle of the night. So that's when I stopped hitting on your wall. Remember, I used to hit.
Yeah, but I mean,
to sleep.
But for me too, I kind of knew that being on party chat with friends at the time was inconsiderate, you know what I mean? And you know me, I'm one of those people who would rather compromise than really talk about the issues. So I was like, you know what, it's maybe she's talking to her mom or family or her son. This was even before JP came, so it was really
Yeah, I think most of the time I was talking to either my parents or my boyfriend at the time or
Yeah.
JP. So yeah, it was always someone I was talking to. But it was like, even me, I now decided, you know what? I think I need to stop. And that is when I decided we need a bigger place, room
Yeah.
separate, so that I
Yeah.
don't care.
So Mary has an
Globally.
interesting channel which is family oriented. She does these amazing challenges with her 9-year-old smart son. Trust me, that kid is smart on so many different levels. So head over to Mary's channel, link in the description below. Show some love, show some appreciation. You know, let's all build a community and let's all remain globally engaged. Again, this video may provide value for you and your child one day. If your child is going to go to boarding school, if they are going to leave you to go to college, or if you are just relocating in terms of finding a job or going to school. So hopefully these conversations, you know, starts to give you perspective on some things to consider and think about when you meet a potential roommate or when you are living with a roommate. Hopefully this provides you with some perspectives. Don't forget to share with us in the comment section below your experiences living with a roommate, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, what you learned from them, what they taught you, and stuff like that. I would definitely like to hear from you because your comments really matter for the growth of this channel. Alright, back to the video.
Alright, so what did you like about us living together?
Interesting. I mean, I liked a lot of things because again, we had established that rapport and stuff like that. But I like the fact that we had boundaries, but we did not have boundaries. Reason is, again, when you live with a roommate, it's usually you buy your stuff, I buy my stuff situation. But everything in the fridge belongs to everybody. You tell me I can use your eggs, and I'll still, even when I still text you to be like, hey Mary, I used 2 of your eggs. When I go to Walmart, I'll replace it. You'll be like, really? You don't have to do that. So I think respecting that there were no boundaries whilst also recognizing that there were boundaries was very important, and it was something that I liked. And I also like the fact that, I mean, we traveled a lot. You know, we did our road trips. I mean, we had this amazing vibe. We could literally play music the whole day on an empty stomach, and people would not even know that we were broke. So that's something that I really liked about you. And also the fact that you are kind, you think about other people in terms of, you think about me and my well-being and stuff like that. Like, you sympathize, you are always there in your own small way, which is something that I really liked. You are able to put your problems aside just to help me carry mine, and for that I'm always thankful and grateful for that. But yeah.
What I liked most was the fact that we never had an argument or a fight.
That is true.
For 2 years, guys.
Yes.
We never fought.
Yes.
Never got into an argument. Never stopped talking to each other.
Yeah.
Passed each other on the hallways or whatever, or just ignored each other, or come in late just because I'm trying to avoid him. Nope.
True.
Never happened. I mean, people have their moments where they're moody and they just want to be in their room. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But if I spent 3 days without seeing Richard, Richard, are you okay? What's going on? Because I know we did not have a fight. So why are you locking yourself in that room?
True.
Because he's the one who would always, like, he could stay in his room playing PlayStation, actually, all weekend.
Yeah.
Now, on a Sunday after church, I'm like, nope, okay, come out. Did you go to church today?
Yes. Yeah, and I also think that we not having an argument or any kind of fight also was because you spoke your mind in the most respectful way. Even if you're upset, you don't let that get overboard. You speak to people, you don't speak at people, which again, some people misunderstand about you as an individual, you know, so they think you are rude or you are cheeky, but you are passionate about the relationships that you build. And so if something is threatening that relationship, you try to address it instead of putting a bandage on it, you know. So I think that was also one of the reasons we never had. I actually didn't even think about that till you mentioned it. Interesting.
Yeah. So for 2 years, no fight.
Yeah.
We're the best housemates to have. We are the best. Wherever
Hands
we
down.
go, I can vouch for Richard. I can write a recommendation letter as a housemate.
Me too. What would you have changed about me when we lived together? What would you have changed? What about me would you have changed?
The fact that when I make food, at least you would eat it and not have to go and cook a pot of rice again on the side. That one used to be like, at first I used to be offended. I'd be like, okay, so does he not want to eat my food? Like, it's just like, okay, I made all this food. Now I'm going to have to store it up and save it and refrigerate it and force JP to eat it every day. I was thinking of making it for us because I was thinking we're living as a family. But Richard was more like he was trying to set his like respectful boundary, and I'm like, no, when it comes to food, we're not boundarizing anything. So if I was to change anything, I would say, like, actually eat my food.
I'm appreciative of the fact that at a point you kind of recognized that it wasn't anything personal. It wasn't about you. It's something that I've been battling with for like a long time. And you met my mom, and she told you, like, when it comes to food, it's like there's always this, I don't know. I'm very picky, and that is one of the reasons I also hesitate to visit people, so I don't find myself in this situation. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a really welcome change, because I can't tell you the number of times we've gone for parties and stuff, which Mary drags me to anyway, because I'd rather be in my room to play my PlayStation. I'm literally the guy who would ask Mary to invite people over, let's have a party.
And then you would leave us and go back to his room to play video games. Like, come on. Do you know how many times guests went upstairs to be like, Richard, what are you doing? I'm cool.
What would I have changed
about me?
I don't think I would have changed anything.
Richard,
really.
That's too nice.
No, seriously. You as a young woman going to school full time and raising a son by yourself in America, in an environment where other kids could have the whole world and JP couldn't. Could have done so many other things, questionable things, so to say, just to make ends meet. But I've seen you come home from class, get dressed, ask me if I'll go out just so I can watch over JP, so you can go work your night shifts. Like, I've seen you show levels of responsibility. Like, I've seen, or maybe I wasn't looking critically, but like I said, I wouldn't change much. Maybe, except limiting how many times you knocked on my door to ask me to clean my room.
I was mommy to JP and mommy to Richard at that point.
Maybe
rooms. Today is the day for cleaning. Everybody must clean their rooms, even JP, even
maybe that. And yes, like, my room could be very, very.
It wasn't even dirty. It was just messy clothes.
I had clothes everywhere. Like, my room was literally like a museum. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really change much. You know what you're about in life as an individual, and you walk that path to get to where you need to get to, and also be a mom and dad to JP. So I think that makes it, that sort of keeps you in line, quote unquote. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
What about me intimidated you?
What about you intimidated me? Let's see. I think waking up on a Saturday morning, or just waking up in the morning and opening my door and seeing you in the kitchen wearing shorts. It was so intimidating. In my head, I'm like, I'm a dude. Like, please stop doing this. I experienced this.
Laugh in Africa. Hey.
I experienced this outside the house all the time. Why do I have to
come to the house
go through this? But like, I mean, it wasn't anything bad, but yeah, it just kind of felt intimidating, and it took a lot of mental strength to kind of deal with that. But yeah, just so you know.
Richard, really? I'm going to send your mom this clip after. I'm going to send you a link. Be like, have you watched Richard's? Okay, go 2 minutes. so and so and watch exactly what your son is saying. Can you imagine? So I was wearing my shorts. So I was wearing my shorts.
Not once, not twice.
No, because I love shorts. It's summertime. Who will be walking in 80-degree heat in full blown trouser and whatever?
Slit and kaba and slit.
What
about
that
me?
I did not
Intimidated you.
That behavior you had of just keeping quiet, or like you'll just come back. I don't know who has hurt you out there. Then you just come. Oh, hi Mary. No, I'm good though. Then you just go to your room, close the door. I'm like, okay, so what happened to Richard today? No, I'm fine. Like, I would just be like, really? No, I don't want people to celebrate my birthday. That one used to, like, I'm like, really? I'm still going to celebrate. I need to respect his whatever, but really, can somebody be just in his room on his birthday? Okay, fine, we won't do it big, but I'll just buy him a cake. Okay. You were trying to avoid cake annoying. On your birthday. Can you imagine if I had come and embarrassed you in the library? What would you have said?
I'd have gone out through the other exit.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Why would you not celebrate it? I think I should have done a song for you for that one. Specifically for Richard.
No. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just, I'm just quiet. I try to internalize stuff, which is not always the best thing.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily also because there's something wrong with me. Sometimes I just have to slow down, and I mean, I'm very outgoing. I'm an extrovert, and sometimes too I try to be there for other people, listen to whatever they are dealing with, try to help. So sometimes I just power down, internalize stuff, think through everything, reboot, and then I'm gone. So
yeah, and with time I understood that. So at first, it was like, at first I'm like that person who wants everybody to just be happy all the time, and even me, when I'm in my bad moods, I'll be crying in my room, but when I come out, hi! Like, it's not pretending, but it's just like, I don't want to transfer that bad or draining energy onto people outside. I had my people whom I talked to when I was going through stuff, but in the house, I don't want to take it out on the people. So anyway, next question.
So what didn't happen that you wish happened?
Road trips to the to the West Coast. Road trips, because we did a lot of road trips to along the East Coast, but hey, road trips to the beach. Like, I always wanted, not only with you, but with all the people we did, like all our friends, Chomas, Jay. Like, I know there was a time they had a trip to Mexico, and I really wanted to go with them, but that is when JP had just come, and I do, like, there was all these issues of, okay, will I be able to travel with a child? Will I have fun? It's like, I should have done those road trips before JP came. All those trips, actually, when we just got here, we should have taken advantage and traveled to all those places out of the country, which we can go to now. But it's okay, one day.
Yeah, and I mean, I think at that time too, we were just settling in. But yeah, I agree with you. We could have done so much. We could have traveled more than we did. But I mean, it was also because we didn't have a car, and
at the time,
when your car really changed the whole situation for us.
Yeah, because like,
we could go to bed on a Thursday, kind of
like, hey,
Friday
let's go
morning
next week.
DMV area. So what happened that I wish? What didn't happen that I wish happened? Let's see. I wish we had gotten to know each other way before we came to school. The reason is, I mean, we were in the same program. We started school together, and coincidentally, we're the last two people in our program called during graduation.
Together, hey, we danced.
So I just feel
Mary
like
Magdalene Umgum Shubo.
This friendship.
Richard Kwashi.
Had a lot of potential if we had known each other. Like, some things that we learned the hard way, we wouldn't have learned it as hard as we did. But again, it's all part of the learning process. You have a story to share with JP. I have a story to share with other people. So I think that I'm grateful for, and I wish for the purposes of argument, what happened between us and our second, third roommate, I wish that didn't happen as well, because it was just unfortunate that, you know, things didn't really work out and things ended the way that it did. I feel it could have ended much better. Things happen and you learn from it and you just keep moving forward. So what are your overall thoughts? I mean, what would you tell, what are your takeaways from, you know, my friendship with you, living together? What would you change, or what would you add to that? What would you tell somebody who is out there hunting for a roommate?
I mean, you never know a person, because I know that after Richard, I started planning for my next roommate. And I was like, okay, Richard is leaving. Okay. And I really had good plans with somebody who I thought was going to be the best roommate because it was a friend. But it did not end up being as I thought. So you never really know. I think for me, the best roommates are people you didn't plan to have as roommates.
Yeah.
The best plans are usually the random plans. So this should also apply. For me, it has applied because even my current roommate is not someone I had planned to be with. I'd actually been planning on being with somebody else and then finding my current roommate another place. But now we're together and we are also, it's a very happy marriage. It's not a marriage, it's a very happy like relationship. So it's like the person you're staying with is more or less like a spouse, just that the two of you are in different rooms, but you're paying bills together, you're doing things together, and we just continued the same thing we were doing with Richard in terms of paying bills, in terms of paying rent, and we are like a family. Only that this time I cook and she eats my food.
Or something.
And when she cooks, I eat, or we cook together. So that's the only thing. She does not cook in small pots, too many tiny pots, and then I have to be washing tiny pots all the time. No.
Hey, shout out to my 2 tiny pots. Shout out to my
tiny
2
pots.
tiny
I was even
pots.
surprised when he moved, he didn't take them with him. I was like, Richard, why would you leave these pots here? Because nobody else used them. It was you only. Even when we were boiling eggs, JP wouldn't boil in those 2 tiny pots because he just goes and gets the big ones.
2
Like
tiny pots.
we hardly ever use them. I think we've only used them like less than 5 times.
Hey, use them. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned a very interesting point. For those of you who now or in future will be looking for housemates, just go in with an open mind. Again, we are all human beings, you know. Like my current housemate is amazing. Like she's really amazing, really kind, you know, compassionate. And when I was moving in here, she was like, if you don't have a mattress, I ended up leaving my mattress back, you know, in 100 Hudson, but she was like, you know, you can sleep on my air mattress, I have utensils, you know. So again, just keep an open mind. It's all about finding a common ground and finding ways to respect each other. And having a good housemate like this gives you peace of mind. Trust me, there's nothing like sitting in front of your house on a Friday evening, watch your housemate drink some red wine whilst you drink some soda. Believe me,
white wine.
That's how we roll.
White. That's how we used to roll.
79 and at 100 Hudson.
Or do reggae Sundays and stuff. Like there's nothing, like you cannot be paying your bills and rent for a place you're not at peace. You know, I instantly, as soon as I came, even 100 Hudson, like all my goals were our house is not going to just look like a student's house. It's going to be a home. It's going to be a place we can host people. It's going to be a place we can come back and lie down and just be like, and we're not rich. It's not like I had the money to go buying furniture all over.
Thrift stores and students who dump their stuff.
I discovered people who were giving out stuff. I discovered, like, I am resourceful. I might be the most resourceful person you have ever met. As soon as I landed, I wanted to know where I can get the cheapest stuff, where I can get things which are nice, the best stuff. So those are the things I would just get. Flowers put in the bathroom. These nice things just to make the house. You enter the bathroom, you're not just entering a plain bathroom. The rugs I tried to like buy, yes, very affordable, but nicer ones than what you just get in the general department store. So it was really like, for me, it's like I want to be at peace in the place I'm paying for. So that when I'm coming back home, I'm coming home. I'm not just coming, I'm just here temporarily. No. So that even when I'm leaving, I can leave this house the way it is to somebody else and not feel, yes, I didn't spend a lot of money on this thing, so it won't be like I'm at a loss. I'll just carry my clothes, maybe my electronics, which I bought, which are a bit expensive, but everything else, leave it as it is for the next person, because you never know. There are people coming in, as in for me, it's international students. We always need to help each other. So I'm not keeping these chairs here. I'm not going to move with them. If I'm going to be able to get a house, move to a place, I'm going to be able to afford probably to, buy my own couches at that time. And there's going to be someone who just came who can't afford it. So leave the house.
Usually when you go to school in a different country for the first time, there are so many layers of uncertainty. Like it's and we had people who gave us stuff. We had people who took clothes off their back to give to us, something to at least give us the foundation. So why not also do same for other people? That's the reason I left some of my stuff in Athens, to also help somebody who is just coming in, who may not have the resources. Like Mary said, most students throw away couches, stuff that is fairly new, but they don't want to pay transportation to move all of that once they graduate from school. So if you know where to look, if you know what to look for, there are ways of getting cheap furniture, cheap clothing, cheap stuff. If you want to see a full video on that, leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will cater for you as well.
Thank you, Richard, so much for having me on your channel today, to have this conversation, to have this discussion. I'm really glad that we could talk about this. I think sometimes we live with people, then everybody leaves the state or goes somewhere else, and you never sit back and be like, okay, let's reflect on how it was living together for 2 years. And I'm glad we're on the same page, because it would have been really embarrassing if we did this video and then you come here and be like, okay, so Mary, I always wanted to tell you this, or me, I'd be like, Richard, so this is what I never liked this about it. It's like, that's embarrassing, because you guys were together for 2 years. How come you never talked about it? So this was nice, and it was your initiative, so thank you so much, and hopefully we get to see each other in another video
soon. Yeah,
and in real life as well.
So thank you so much, for deciding to do this video with me. It's long overdue actually, and I just thought that this video will go a long way to get some of my friends' mind out of the gutter. Of course, there are a lot of things that I still want to tell you, but of course not on video. I wouldn't trade my friendship with you. And if I had to do all of this again in Athens, Ohio, I don't think that I would rather live with any other housemate other than you. We've been through a lot together, we've cried together, we've been hungry together, we've struggled to do assignments together. So I'm grateful that I got to experience this journey with you. And once this lockdown is over, maybe we should come visit Athens, and you're also welcome to come visit UNJP. There are some really amazing spots here that we can just go hang out and eat some good food and stuff like that. So thank you for coming on the channel. Thank you for
having me.
And hopefully we can come up with another video soon. Behind closed doors, and then give our community something really nice to talk about. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you so much, everybody on the Globally Engaged channel. Hopefully I see you next time. Stay blessed, stay safe, and find the right housemate.
So guys, there you have it. That is my conversation with my friend Mary, amazing human being. Like I said, she has this amazing channel where she does these challenges with her son. So head over to her channel, link in the description below, and show some love. Tell her Richard asked you to come pay her a visit. If you found this video interesting, or if you found this video informative, or if there's anything about this video you did not like, I would like to hear from you. Share with us in the comment section below your overall thoughts of the video, your overall thoughts of some of the things that we discussed. As always, continue staying safe out there, be each other's keeper, And until I see you on the next video, peace.